Alright, this was probably some of the best on or off ball pressure I'll ever see in mid-December, because both sides were consistent with their game plans, reds, rotations, and more importantly, their effort, so all that combined just resulted in stagnant offenses in the first half. The Rockets had Şengün blitz Steph on every SNR, and the Dubs had Dre being up on Van Vliet on his, or even on greens at times, but neither team could generate much of an advantage on the backside. Both teams had to take a lot of tough bailouts or ran into severe turnover issues, and the worst came from the Dubs, because the Rockets converted on more of theirs, so that was one of the reasons for the Rockets being in control. I knew it was going to be one of those signature turnover fiestas from the Dubs once Dre had 3 within the first 2 minutes of the night, and they were just fortunate their defense kept them in it as much as possible. Dre was real physical on Şengün throughout, and Hill had one of his best defensive performances, but that couldn't make up for their size disadvantage, so the Rockets capitalized on that just as much as the turnovers. It was showing on the O boards, or on those mismatches in the post, and they were beating the Dubs off the dribble a good amount, but that was until the third started, because it was the opposite in that quarter. The Dubs were much quicker in their actions, and it allowed them to get downhill more, because Şengün was out of position a lot, so those driving angles were opening up. They just kept attacking him throughout until they got into a decent rhythm, and they even got control of the game by the end of the quarter to carry over into the fourth. But just as a team, the Rockets were a little slower on their reds or rotations in the second half, so those minor breakdowns basically kept the Dubs in control and in that rhythm, so that led to them making tough shots that they weren't making in the first half. But their execution in those last 3 minutes cost them the game, and their time management during that stretch was just as atrocious as Bill Kennedy's call. I can understand why Steve Kerr was pissed off, because there's always going to be contact when players die for a 50-50, but at the same time, the Dubs shouldn't have even been in that position, and the sequences leading up to it were just as much to blame. It started with them trying to milk the clock, but overdoing it, so the Rockets locked them up for back-to-back shot clock violations. Then Dre tried to throw a pass to Kuminga inside for another turnover, and then on the one possession they had to milk for one shot, Steph went too early and missed. Those were 2 of probably 4 shot clock violations throughout, and Dre's connection with Kuminga wasn't there the entire night, so I don't even know why he attempted that. But a lot of that was still because of the Rockets, and they deserve credit for making the winning plays on both ends. They still earned 2 extra possessions by going for O boards, and both times led to timely shots, with the first being Van Vliet burning pause for going under on the BOB, then the second being Şengün putting Loon under the rim on the SOB. It's easy to overlook their effort because of the Dubs' choke job, but even Green beating Kuminga first to the 50-50, and them defending that final inbound before Smith's block, showed that they were the better team when it mattered most. Just watch the tape.
Pajemski, they got a piece, and it is over here in Houston.